I feel quite disappointed by my bakery in Brooklyn because this is something that I could have really adored. It had all of the hallmarks of a film that I would love, and unfortunately, it just didn't deliver. This was released in 2016, directed by Gustavo Ron, written by Francisco Zegers, and has a pretty great cast. Stars Aimee Teegarden as Vivien and Krysta Rodriguez as Chloe. The narrative itself sounded like something that I would like. The description from IMDb doesn't actually sum it up, but it's a pretty good tagline. Two cousins, two kind of thinking, and a bakery for saving. Basically, these two cousins, Vivien and Chloe, inherit this bakery that belongs to their aunt who recently passes away. They both want to save the bakery, but they have very different ideas about what to do with it. They're both coming from very different backgrounds, and there's a lot of feuding going on between them. And of course, there's a bit of romance in this as well. It is a rom-com, light-hearted, with a pretty interesting backstory, and it revolves around a bakery, which means there's an element for a lot of sweet, and I like sweet films. Unfortunately, the characters are annoying. The editing of the narrative is all over the place. The acting is fine, no issues with the acting, no issues with the lighting, with the sound, no issues with any of the technical aspects at all. The editing itself is fine, as in the scenes transition well, but I feel like the narrative is all over the place. There are scenes that just serve no purpose. I just couldn't get on board with it. I did not care what happened to this bakery. I did not care about the characters. I didn't care what happened to any of them. I quite like Paul as a character, played by Ward Horton, but aside from that, the film just, it had a lot. It could have delivered a lot, and unfortunately it seemed to have disappointed on pretty much every mark. It's unusual that I would not recommend this kind of film if you're a fan of this kind of film, because usually there'll be at least one thing in it if you like rom-coms. I honestly can't see anything in it worth watching. Unfortunately, although I had pretty high hopes for it, it just completely disappointed.